I am Jared Caulfield, owner of Flint Boot and Hat Shop here in Lubbock, Texas. This location has been a boot shop for at least 40 years. When I started working here, I started working in the boot shop. And then they started teaching me more and more stuff in the hat shop, and to the point where I kind of became the head of the hat shop for a time while I was still in college. As I got close to the end of my college days, then the opportunity kind of presented itself for me to take over the shop as a whole and take over ownership. You know, while you do a lot of the same techniques and you do kind of some of the same motions every day, what you're working on is different and the final product is different, it seems like every day. And so just seeing something go from a raw material to a final product, that's really what drew me in to wanting to continue this and to build on this. So someone comes in, they may or may not have any idea what they want, but one of the first things and one of the most important things that we do is get the measurements of their head. So we get the exact measurement around their head, where they want to wear the hat. We create a pattern from all those measurements, and we build a wooden block to the size and shape of their head. And then after that, then it becomes a little bit, the ball's in their court just a little bit. They've got to decide what they want. We've got lots of display hats that we can look through and pictures, and some people will bring us pictures of hats that they've seen or that they used to own or that family members owned or friends, and they want us to recreate that, or they want something, they want parts of this and parts of this, and they want to combine that. And so we're able to create that design with them. It's far from just your big brim 10-gallon cowboy hats. It's more and more of the shorter brim fedoras and bowlers and gambler type hats kind of coming back to popularity. And whether it's the older guys wanting to recreate those hats that they had back in those days, or even the younger guys, college kids and women and people who want to do kind of that type of style, as fashion trends and styles kind of they always circulate, and you can't find those hats anymore because those big name brands don't build the same hats that they used to. And so we're able to, like I said, because we have so many options, we can recreate a lot of those hats in our brand. We can get you fixed up with just about whatever you can dream up. Once we have kind of the design in mind, or at least the basics of the design, we get the felt. We get just a raw piece of felt. I mean, it looks maybe a little bit like a hat. It's got a little bit of shape to it as far as a crown and a brim, but it's just a raw, rough piece of felt. And we will then block it to be the correct size, and use some of these old machines that will iron out that crown to create just a real smooth shape of the crown, the height and the size. And then from there we'll iron out the brim to create a flat piece to really create that break line where the crown and the brim meet. After that, you've got to finish out that felt. We do a lot of that by hand. It's finished out to go from that rough piece to a smooth, soft, finish. So then we sew the sweatband into the hat. Pretty much every process that we can do by hand, we do by hand here, because we have then complete control over every aspect of it. And once that's all completed, then they'll come in, we'll make sure everything fits just the way they want, and then we'll crease it up to whatever shape they want. Everything we do there is by hand. Every finished product is a little different. I don't know that I've ever had two hats that looked exactly the same, even for myself. So it's just it's a fun ending that, everything is very personal. Everything is completely custom designed by the customer and finished out till they are happy with that final product. Yeah, there is I say between 5 and 8 working hours in any one hat. And that's very dependent upon the felt, because every piece of felt is different. Other than that, there is just the matter of dealing with these old machines, and that, these aren't machines that are manufactured anymore. Like, these are machines from, I couldn't even tell you when, they're from the early 1900s probably, and that, when you have some issues there, you can't just go down to the store and pick up a part. You've got to figure out what it is and make sure that you're doing it right, because these machines are so important to the job, but also that you can't just go and replace them. So if we do have to spend a little extra time, most customers are very understanding of that. Location has been very nice for us in that, there's lots of Western stores, sure, but there's not a lot of hat makers. We've got a pretty wide stretch of land, and land that's covered with people that are kind of our perfect ideal customer. Lots of ranch land out here, and lots of small towns, and people that still wear boots and hats every day, and so it just kind of creates that perfect storm, and really has let our business continue to flourish.
I'm Brad Glenn. I'm the owner and the custom boot maker of BG Leather Shop and Custom Boots here in Lubbock, Texas. I bought this boot shop out and then learned to build boots from a guy by the name of John Higdon in Amarillo, Texas. Took a 2-week course and built 2 pair of boots. Then started taking orders, and business has been great since I stepped out and started doing it on my own. To get a pair of custom boots made, first you got to come in and you come in and you get measured. You step down on this piece of this vanilla envelope right here, and I measured the ball, the low instep, and then your heel measurement. If you can't wear a pair of store-bought boots, we can build you a pair. So you pick out your colors, and the good thing about custom boots is you can make them as wild and crazy as you want them and really detailed, or you can come in and you can get 1 row of stitching and whatever toe and heel you want, and however high you want or however short you want. So then when you give me all that, we can put your initials in it, we can put a brand in it, we can put a logo, a tech sign, an A&M sign, a Longhorn sign. I would rather not put them in it, but go Red Raiders, And then we can put collars around the top, decorative stuff. We can do whatever you want. We can put as many rows of stitching as you want. The more rows, the more my art starts to come out. I always like it when somebody comes in and says, I want to do 5 to 10 rows, because that's when it gets really cool and it gets really detailed and shows the ability that I have at the sewing machine. On just a good pair of custom boots that is not detailed and nothing with roses or lilies on it, or no big inlays, you're looking at 5 to 7 days is where I usually at. This boot shop is not only just a boot shop, but it's more of a ministry. I had a drug and an alcohol problem, and got the chance to go to Teen Challenge and sober up. When I left Amarillo, Texas, I left out of Amarillo, Texas with this boot shop, a pickup, and a dog, and part of my clothes. And I was headed to Teen Challenge, which Teen Challenge is a faith-based rehab. It's a 12-month program, and when I was down there, God gave me a vision of my boot shop. And my boot shop now is built off of Psalms 119, 105, which is, I am a lamp to your feet, a light to your So I look down into a dark, deep hole every morning when I put on my boots. So every pair of boots has Psalms 119, 105 on in between the soles. Nobody knows it, but he said everywhere that boot steps, it steps on, it makes that ground holy. And so then on the back of these, on the inside of these boots right here, on the gusset, you will see in each boot, you will see a cross. I start praying over them boots when I start building them, and God gives me a scripture that I put in each one of them boots when the process is done. And so this is more of a ministry because God saved me from a really bad wreck in my life, and he says this is all you need to do what I'm calling you to do. People call me or send me Facebook messages and say, man, your work is awesome. You blessed us with the scripture. We think it's so cool. I've had people come in and say, hey, we love your boots, but we don't want the cross in the scripture. And I said, well, you don't get a pair of boots then. It's my trademark. You know, that is my deal. I can't take credit for none of this. This is all God's work. I sit here and I think and I pray and I seek God through this shop. And my goal in life, my dream in life, is to be the best boot maker around. That's where I want to be, and I will be someday.
My name is Jordan Robert Kirk. I am a native to this area. I've lived here all but 3 years of my life, and I'm 27. I've been playing music since I was about 12. Grew up in church doing it, and actually wrote my first song when I bought my wife a engagement ring and didn't have any money left over for Christmas the next month. So I wrote her song for Christmas as a gift, and it wasn't my best song, but she still likes it a lot, I guess. But I realized that I was half decent at it while I'd spent 4 years at Tech, studying actually mechanical engineering, and didn't pick up a guitar for all 4 years pretty much, except maybe just to mess around a little bit and go back to studying. But realized at that point, man, I really enjoy this. This is kind of cool, and started writing from there. And we lived in Louisiana for a little while. Recently moved back here to Idalou, and got a couple of high school buddies, and we started a band, and we've been doing that for I guess 2.5 years now. had some pretty big opportunities to play for, or I guess to open for sold out shows here in Lubbock at Charlie B's and different places. And then, you know, we'll turn around and go play at a restaurant or a bar somewhere, and there might be 2 people there. So, you know, there's a lot of highs and a lot of lows, and we still got a lot more lows than highs at this point. But I guess the thing I'm bound by is I'm just enjoying it, and I have a day job. You know, I work 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever, and but I guess I'm consoled by the fact that I just love writing. And I write songs for my wife. I write songs for fun. I never dated a woman named Rita, like the song I wrote. You know, I just made that up, but it was just kind of fun to write. And so I guess regardless of success or failure, I enjoy this. So I guess I'm going to keep doing it. So, but hopefully, you know, we got an album coming out here soon, and it'll be the whole band on there. So, kind of a full collaboration for one of the first times, and you know, with a really great guy here in town, Scott Ferris. So we're really excited about that, and I guess excited to see what the future holds. So being from Idlewild, obviously, I have a pretty big influence from, you know, growing up listening to Josh Abbott, and you know, obviously then being from Lubbock, there is such a huge history. You know, arguably rock and roll kind of got started here, or at least had a big chunk of it get started here with Buddy Holly. And I think ever since then, and probably even way before then, you know, you hear about Waylon and all those old guys and old interviews and stuff. Of course, I'm kind of a nerd, and I go back and watch documentaries like that, talking about how in West Texas there's not a whole lot to do but farm. And now that there's a university, I guess you can work there. Y'all know that firsthand, and stuff like that. But everybody had a piano, everybody had a guitar, everybody had something. And so growing up, music has always been a part of the High Plains or West Texas or whatever you want to call this area, the Panhandle. And you know, me personally, I've benefited a lot from going up to songwriter nights, Blue Light on Buddy Holly Avenue. Imagine that. And there's been so many artists recently have success out of Lubbock that it's just got me chomping at the bit. Like, dang, if they could do it, maybe I could too. And so it's definitely inspiring and definitely encouraging, and kind of spurs you onward towards the goal, which is maybe you could do music as a living, or maybe you could do it half-time, part-time, or at least make a little money doing it where people come to see you.
Me in a pine box, live along on my death. Remember all the things I'd done, how I always did my best. Don't spend money on a coffin, on a real fancy gravestone. Just bury my body in a pine box and leave it alone. By that time, I'll have had all I can stand, Pine wood come cheap, it grows all over Louisiana. Ain't no life and death, if there was death in life. Follow my example, living don't waste any time, living don't waste any time. So bury me in a pine box, don't dwell long on my death. Remember all the things I'd done, I always did my best. Don't spend money on a coffin, a real fancy gravestone. Just bury my body in a pine box and leave it alone. My love to the family, if there's any of them left. If they get the boast, tell them I outlived them dead. See if I die before my time, had a little too much fun. Oh, come with me, I still got the race to run, I still got the race to run. So bury me in a pine box, live along on my death. Remember all the things I'd done, how I always did my best. Don't spend money on a coffin, real fancy gravestone. Just bury my body in a pine box and leave it alone. Oh, have a bunch of brisket just like my dad always did. You can service memory right, but no one does it like he did. You can't do it like he did. So well has Christ, but to die is gain. Take my soul of yonder where I won't feel any pain, no more pain. So bury me in a pine box, well on my death. Remember all the things I've done, I always did my best. Don't spend money on a coffin, real fancy gravestone. Just bury my body in a pine box and leave it alone. Just bury my body in a pine box and leave it alone.
I think actually the ultimate goal of any musician is not necessarily to do it for the money, but to have people actually listen to what they have to say, because money would obviously, like, who am I kidding? Money's important. But it's kind of hard playing background music for a restaurant, or it's nice when people come up to you afterward and like, man, that one line and that one song, and I'm like, yeah, that's not even my favorite one, but I'm glad that you liked it. My favorite one's this, and I got to thinking, well, that actually is a decent line. Maybe I overlooked it, or when people actually appreciate all the work you put in, and a lot of it's hit or miss. It may not be any good. Maybe try it out, and they're like, I better not ever play that again. But yeah, it's great being from this area and having just a huge history looking up on the proverbial Mount Rushmore of Lubbock. If we were to have one, there's a lot of musicians come out of here, and a lot of songwriters and singers that have really put a dent on the world, and not just Lubbock or Texas. So if I could emulate a little bit of that success, man, that'd be pretty awesome.